All right, back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Big Ditch Brewing Company out of Buffalo, New York. And this is their packet. And this is the first release in their Lock IPA series. It comes in at 7.2% alcohol by volume and 59 IBUs. And at the time of this review, this beer is exactly 2 weeks old, actually. So this is an American IPA. Probably not within the New England style. I remember it wasn't super hazy and stuff. So we'll say American IPA. And like I said, this is the first release in the style. Now, they released this originally about 1.5 years ago. It was like early to mid 2017. I missed out on the first batch of it. I did get a can for the second batch, and I think it's the best beer within the series. Maybe their number 4 Dibble tied with it. But they re-released it a couple weeks ago, and considering that I haven't had it in over 1 year, and on the pretentious wall of bottles and cans behind me, this is the only one missing from the series. As you can see, we have the number 2 FIP, the number 3 363, and the number 4 Dibble. Dibble I have reviewed on the channel before as part of the Western New York Wednesday, along with a couple other Big Ditch beers. You guys are probably familiar with them at this point. I think they're one of the best Western New York breweries out there, period. So yeah, they have a little bit of a spiel here on the can that I'll read real quick. It says, "Our Lock IPA series explores the range of fantastic flavors that can be found in hobby beers." Also, and I noted this in the Dibble review as well, the Lock series pays tribute to the Erie Canal, pays homage to the Erie Canal, which, if you're not from the Western New York area, you don't know the historical significance of the Erie Canal, but it's cool that they do pay homage to it, and the historical value cannot be understated when it comes to Western New York. So really cool that they do that. On top of that, all of their beers within the series are named after something in relation to the Erie Canal. It says here, "Packet, our first beer in the series, is named after the boats that transported early passengers on the Erie Canal. This beer is made with Galaxy, Mosaic, and Pacific Jade hops." They talk about tasting notes. It says, "This beer is unfiltered to maintain great flavor. Roll the can gently to resuspend hops before drinking. Please keep refrigerated to preserve freshness." I've done all that, but we'll just, we'll do a quick little roll here, suspend all the particles, all of them. Let's crack this open, see what we got going on. I am excited to review this properly because, like I said, I love this beer. This was a very tasty beer when I had it over 1 year ago. So let's see what we got going on. So yeah, that pours out. It definitely has a nice haze to it. It's like this bright honey orange color, but there is a decent amount of haze in there. It's not full on opaque when it comes to the haze. There's, it's not like butternut squash soup where you can't see through it. About a finger and a half of an off-white head. But yeah, it looks like a nice IPA. I wouldn't say, like I said, this is within the New England style. It's just an American IPA. So let's get a nose on it. Oh, that smells fucking glorious. Tons of red berries. Like, the Mosaic is screaming in this one. There's nondescript red berries, maybe even a tinge of like blueberry, and then that Galaxy underneath the Mosaic is producing like a nice pineapple passion fruit character that's just beautiful. I was gonna go take a sip of it because it just smells, it's like my mouth's watering. That's how great this smells. The aromatics are fantastic. There is a nice overall like sticky dankness to this one. More like, there's like a resinous quality to it that's not really piney. It's just like has this resinous, sticky, dank component. Like, it smells so good. Yeah, it smells like it's going to be fantastic. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Red berries, maybe blueberry, pineapple, passion fruit, sticky dankness. Smells fantastic. Let's get into it. Cheers. Yeah, it's really nice. Honestly, the aroma kind of set me up for disappointment, just because it's just smells so good. Yeah, it's that berry component, maybe even a touch of melon now that I'm thinking about it, with the pineapple and passion fruit and that dankness. It just smells so inviting. But when I taste it, it's a bit subdued. First thing I will say is at 7.2. It's like medium bodied, so appropriate. It's not as like creamy and luscious in the mouthfeel. I'd say it has a nice softness to it, but there is a decent amount of carbonation there. Not overly carbonated, properly carbonated. The mouthfeel and body are fine. The taste, though, kind of reined in from the aroma. Those berries are still there, coming off as like I said, a nondescript like red berry. It's like a melon rind as opposed to like the melon flesh. That passion fruit and pineapple are a little bit less in the taste as well. So many times with Galaxy, I'm getting crushed pineapple and just straight on candied pineapple, and that's not really what this beer is about. It has a nice, juicy components to it, but there is a decent bitterness. Halfway through the palate, you're just hit with this semi-dry finish, and then there's a decent lingering bitterness, and it's more of that like dank, sticky, weedy, not like marijuana, but like actual weeds. It just has a sticky, resinous dankness to this one. But it's still one of the better within the series. As far as rating goes, I gave it a 4.25 out of 5 last time. I'm going to stick with that. 4.25 out of 5 for Packet. Lock Series #1, or Lock IPA Series #1. It's a damn good beer. Based on my memory, I think Dibble now may have pushed slightly past this one. Regardless, this is a tasty beer. The cans are still making their rounds in Western New York, so if you're in the Western New York area, check out the local bottle shops here, whether it's Premier Gourmet, Aurora Brew Works, Brewed and Bottled in Lewiston. Even, I think Consumers Beverages is a local chain of places here. They might get it. If you see it, pick it up. I want to say a 4-pack of it's probably in the $14 to $15 range, $16 range, the appropriate amount of money that most people spend nowadays for IPAs of this quality. So yeah, that was Packet, 4.25 out of 5. Another Western New York Wednesday down, another beer from Big Ditch reviewed, and I'm going to go and drink the rest of this and enjoy my day. So until the next one, cheers.